It's really disingenuous to say that Ace is below an admiral because he got killed by an admiral's attack, when the exact same thing happened to Kuzan, an admiral, when he lost to Akainu, another admiral. Got his leg destroyed, and the only reason Kuzan is still alive today is because Akainu spared his life. I don't hear anybody saying Kuzan's not admiral level though because he got beat by an admiral. You see how that doesn't make sense? Once you start getting to the higher tiers in the world of One Piece, a lot of these characters can kill other people within that tier or even above them should they get hit by it. If you understand the level of attacks that Ace can throw out, he can kill a lot of people in the series should they get hit by this stuff. But speaking of scenes like this, I see so many people thinking One Piece is Dragon Ball Z because you think that, oh, he fought Jimbe for 5 days and then they both went down, so he's Jimbe level. Even though two things: one, this happened when he was 17, and two, after they both went down here, Whitebeard immediately pulled up, and guess what? Ace got right back up, told his crew to stay back, and he started fighting Whitebeard after just dealing with this dude for 5 whole days. Jimbe even admits it looks like he's a completely different person from the one who fought me. Meaning, even though they fought for 5 days, Ace had a lot left in the tank. He had moves he just didn't even pull out when he was fighting Jimbe. Which, if anything, to me showcases that he could have gone all out sooner and won that fight quicker. He just chose not to. And to the people saying that him being above the Yonko commanders, him being on an admiral level doesn't make any sense. But what you don't understand is that I've been saying for the longest time that I think these dudes are very close to that of the admirals. We saw that all over the place at Marineford. That people like Jozu and Marco can essentially fight admirals indefinitely until they get distracted because they care about their captain who just had a heart attack. You really gotta stop looking at these fights like they're Dragon Ball Z. One Piece has way too much nuance. But it seems like a lot of you guys are being results orientated, so you'll see Marco go down to Kizaru and your brain just defaults to, oh, Marco is weaker than an admiral, therefore Yonko commanders can't beat admirals. That's what y'all are thinking. Completely ignoring the fact that Marco was going toe-to-toe with this man the entire war until Whitebeard had a heart attack and he turned his head to go run to him. And even when we're talking about the admirals, not all of these guys have the same level of strength. They do different things. Tiers in the world of One Piece are never static. This is not Dragon Ball Z. I need y'all to understand that. Just because Ace got killed by an admiral that he wasn't even fighting, he was just defending his little brother, does not mean he would lose to any admiral. Ace is cooking the hell out of Green Bull, and you cannot try to prove me otherwise. I'm gonna say that's a 10-0 matchup in Ace's favor. And before somebody says, oh, well, it's because he's plant stuff and Ace is a Logia of fire. Well, duh, that's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. Fights in One Piece carry so much nuance that if you are just ignoring everything that happened in the middle, all the dialogue, and you're only paying attention to the punches being thrown and the end result, you're going to miss a lot. That's why so many people thought Oda had inconsistent writing when he made Crocodile so strong at Marineford, as if Crocodile wasn't always a problem. Y'all defaulted to, oh, he lost to Luffy, therefore he's weaker than Luffy. Completely ignoring the fact that he beat Luffy twice that arc, but he don't get no credit for that. Y'all say Ace is Jimbe level when Jimbe himself is seeing him fight Whitebeard and going, dang, I came off kind of lucky. And then there are the people saying that Ace isn't even on like Yonko Commander's level. I saw some of y'all saying goofy stuff like he couldn't beat Dofi. Are you serious? We see King doing attacks like this, and Ace was doing the same thing at the age of 17. Even other people in the crew admitting like, yo, even if Pops take a direct hit, that's gonna be terrible. Forget damaging Jimbe, forget damaging Zoro or an admiral, that's Whitebeard. And it's a Whitebeard without the tubes up his nose, so he didn't even have it that bad yet. But it seems like a lot of you guys have not read the Ace manga by Boichi, and if you haven't, please go read it. It is a treat for your eyes. It gives you a much better understanding on how strong Ace was and how strong he could have been, because that's also what I'm talking about here. It's true that Ace wanted to make Whitebeard Pirate King, but every commander, including Whitebeard himself on that ship, knew that Ace was finna be the next Pirate King. We see this at Marineford when Ace is like, I joined Pop so I can help him become Pirate King, and Sengoku was like, you the only dude that believes that. He took you in so he could protect you from us, so he can train you up to be the next Pirate King. Remember, Ace died at 20, younger than even I thought. 1 year older than where Luffy is right now in the story. He still had so much more potential that he just didn't reach. Honestly, that's why Marineford was as troubling as it was, because they knew, yo, if we let Ace go and he gets back to Whitebeard, one day Roger's son's going to just eclipse everybody else and become the Pirate King. Like, stop letting cognitive dissonance kick y'all in the butts real quick and understand that genetics plays a large part in a lot of these characters' growth rates in the series. Not just that, but the Will of D too. People with the Will of D just do not be going down. Have you seen Luffy? The level of tenacity you see out of Luffy when he takes all this damage, but he's still able to get back up to win the fight, Ace has that in him too. And no matter how strong you think these guys are, they don't have the Will of D. Not to say these guys are not incredibly powerful, but their aptitudes are below that of Ace's. If Ace was still alive today, he would be stronger than Zoro. All the people saying that Zoro's stronger than Ace. And if I'm being honest, I would say how strong Sabo is now is like a good representation on how strong Ace is or would have been if he was still alive today. If not a bit stronger, because last I checked, Sabo's not a conqueror. Nor does he have the Will of D, nor is he the son of Goldie Roger. And lastly, understand that fights in One Piece are not just the stronger dude always wins. Remember when that dude with the barrier fruit stopped Oden from killing Orochi? And Oden, we know how strong that dude is, could not get through this barrier to save his life. Meaning it's not a stretch to say, I don't know, if Barto puts himself in a bubble, Zoro can go dead man's asteroid. It wouldn't cut through that. But does that mean Barto is stronger than Zoro? No. That's why there's Nuance. Caesar can remove all the oxygen out of an area and then take someone like Luffy down despite not being on that level. Does that mean he's on Luffy's level? No. So just because he died to Akainu, not even in a fight, but just saving his little brother, why would that mean that he's like immediately below every admiral? Especially when not every admiral can even do what Akainu just did. At that point, you're being very disingenuous. This is not Dragon Ball Z, where once you're stronger than somebody else, you're always stronger than that person. And even then, in Dragon Ball Z, it's not always true that way either. Sorbet took out Goku in Super Saiyan Blue. How did that happen? He was off guard? His body should be durable enough. So moral of this story, your traditional idea on what power scaling is usually incorrect because every series does it differently. And when it comes to One Piece, you should already know the stronger person doesn't always win the fight. You have to understand that things like fate play a part in the story and how fights play out. You gotta drill into your brain that people of the Will of D are going to be able to ascend and have a higher aptitude than other people because will is going to keep them moving forward. And that will directly translate into what? Hockey. And I know a lot of y'all saying, but we didn't see Ace use hockey. We didn't see nobody use hockey in the early One Piece. Only thing we saw was observation by a different name and every now and again a little bit of conquerors. But even though we didn't see armament, Oda does confirm to us that Ace does indeed have all three types of hockey. And Whitebeard also knows and has all three types of hockey. Had Ace lived and had Whitebeard lived, Ace would have just kept getting stronger. Luffy would have had 2 years with Rayleigh and Ace would have had 2 years with Whitebeard. And who knows how far Ace would have ascended after doing all of that. In the meantime though, he still had more than enough power to threaten people like Whitebeard, threaten people like Blackbeard, be characters like Jimbe while holding back essentially. And in a few weeks or months on Whitebeard's crew, he went from being able to barely hurt this man with fire to forcing Whitebeard to have to use his Quake Fruit to fight back or else he gets hurt. His growth rate because of his Will of D and Roger genes is insane. And if people without those things are fighting admirals, why is it a shock for me to say that Ace can fight admirals? What? I even said in that video he'd be a little bit below them because he has like less skill because he's younger. I gave y'all what y'all wanted and y'all still ain't happy. I'ma just stop. The ones who get it got it. The ones who don't just don't want to see it.